Welcome to the Fleet Geeks podcast. We're here to help develop fleet and transport professionals. Do you want to progress and develop your skills and knowledge? We promise to bring lively conversation and debate around interesting issues and keep you bang up to date with changes in our awesome industry. The Fleet Geeks are a community of professionals, and if you enjoy the podcast, why not join the discussion for free in the Fleet Geek community over on Facebook. Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Fleet Geeks podcast. So I'm here to talk about high winds and what you're going to do in high winds, or what's your plan when it comes to high winds. So the reason this has come about is a good friend of mine who is a insurance broker for many fleets of vehicles. We were having a chat recently about a trouble paying a £20,000 plus claim for a vehicle that got blown over in the wind. And just understanding how that works from an insurance perspective. And it got me thinking about what you guys do on a day-to-day basis when it comes to driving in high winds, because generally speaking, it's very tough to sort of turn down deliveries. It's tough to turn down and not run vehicles due to weather. So very interesting to sort of see what you do. So just sort of to give you a bit of background, this case that we've been speaking about is that the claim for the insurance damages that were caused during the vehicle that got blown over come to in excess of £20,000. And actually the insurance company, despite the vehicle being down south of the country and in amber weather warnings for high wind, Scotland, where it was due to go to, was operating in high winds. And actually the driver's plan was to sort of stop before heading into Scotland to sort of see what the weather was doing then, but actually got blown over before arriving in Scotland. So wasn't actually in a red weather zone at the time. But nonetheless, it was stipulated by the insurance company that they weren't going to cover the claim in this case. So I think it's really, really important. So the first piece of advice I've got is to speak to your insurance broker, speak to your insurer. What guidance do they give around high-sided vehicles in high winds and your vehicles in high winds? What is it that they are anticipating that you do? I was looking at the guidance on this, and the highway code states that high-sided vehicles are particularly vulnerable, so care needs to be taken. Other vehicles need to be affected by turbulence when passing large vehicles. National Highways advice is around advising drivers to slow down, making sure they're holding the steering wheel firmly and avoiding overtaking. Crosswinds are most careful on bridges and open roads. So we know all this stuff, and often the bridges close and the docks close and those kinds of things. But general sort of practical steps, making sure that we're properly loaded and secured, avoiding vulnerable areas. So making sure that we do check weather forecasts, making sure we understand where those challenges may be, and making sure that we minimize fatigue. So all normal good practice. It's very important that drivers have the opportunity to discuss any challenges they may think there are around the high winds. But ultimately, the responsibility falls on the driver overall for being in control of the vehicle. So what do we do? So I think it's important that we do some preemptive planning. I've come up with sort of 5 key tips for you to really sort of think about when it comes to winds. If you don't already have a risk assessment in place, if you don't already have a plan, I really suggest you think about it. So the first thing is around preemptive planning, making sure that we're monitoring weather forecasts on a daily basis, making sure we keep an eye out for amber and red weather warnings, and making sure that we identify the exposed routes in advance, things like bridges, coastal roads, moorland, those kinds of things, and making sure that we agree wind speed trigger points within the business. So for example, 40 to 50 mile an hour is additional driver caution, 50 to 60 might be restricting any lighter loads or high-sided vehicles, and then 60 plus might be considered postponing, for example. I'm not saying those are what you should use, but potentially you should have a plan in place with that, and then discuss it with your insurance broker and your insurance company in advance.
Hi, I'm Shani from Flagship Partners. We're proud to sponsor the Fleet Geeks podcast, your go-to source for all things fleet management. If you're looking for expert advice or high-quality training for your fleet business, make Flagship Partners your first choice. We're also thrilled to announce the launch of our Fleet Academy, designed to support and develop future fleet leaders through expert-led and career-focused training. Our offering includes fully accredited courses such as the Transport Manager CPC training, CPC refresher courses, OLAT training, plus ongoing mentoring, support and professional development beyond the qualification. Our vision is simple: to develop elite fleet professionals who drive excellence across the industry. Let's shape the future of our fleet management together.
Second is making sure that we have clear comms. So avoiding this Chinese whispers effect, making sure we brief drivers directly and that we update customers proactively. That's really, really important. And the third is around operational controls. So, what can we do around load distribution, making sure that everything's secure. So minimizing, if there is any issues, minimizing the impact of that. Are certain vehicle types more vulnerable than others? Do we need to restrict those? Can we potentially use other vehicles instead? Is the run able to be rescheduled, for example, is another thing to be looking at. So there's definitely some proactivity as fleet and transport managers that we can take around this. The fourth is around driver support and safety culture, making sure that we empower drivers to report back, make sure they know that they can refuse or they can speak to you if they feel that it's unsafe, that they won't lose face, that they won't fear of losing any favours. Making sure that we provide any training that's necessary around handling high winds, what to do, what the reporting mechanism is, how to feed back. Those kinds of things, and obviously for them to report any wind-related incidents or any concerns that they may have is the fourth one. So that's about educating the drivers, their support, and improving the culture there. And the fifth is around documentation and compliance. So making sure that you record weather warnings, make sure you record the impact that they have on the decisions that you're making and the routes that you're planning. And just link this back to your overall transport management system. So making sure that you've got good records of the days, where the weather warnings were, any routes that you've rescheduled and what you've done, because any evidence like that will obviously help you in any claim or dispute with your insurance company or anything like that. So, it might be worth thinking about creating a standard operating procedure when it comes to high winds, a risk assessment, something along those lines. And if you haven't, just make sure you think about it, because this has obviously been a big issue for this operator who have got quite a hefty insurance claim to consider. And at the moment, they're really battling with the insurance company about it, and it's taken a long time. So as a transport manager, we need to make sure we try and mitigate those opportunities. And obviously, it's the right thing to do to make sure vehicles are safe. But it's maybe not quite as straightforward as going, amber warning threshold, red warning threshold, because in this case, the vehicle blew in an amber warning. It was heading towards a red warning, but actually there was a plan in place. So it's very interesting thing. And I'm really interested to hear what other people do and how they manage it. So please do drop me a note, drop a comment. I hope you enjoy the podcast. And let me know what you do differently off the back of it. Speak soon. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please share with your friends and colleagues too. Join us for free on Facebook with the Fleet Geeks community for transport and fleet managers. Fleet Geeks offers ongoing professional development, networking and mentoring too. So get in touch with me, Pete Rushmer, on any social media platform to find out more.